Oh, you might have to put Henley down.
Here, catch Henley.
Ready? 322. Oh no, you gotta go down the slide. Henley's on the slide. Let's go. Okay, you go get him. Let's go get Henley. Come on. Oh, one step at a time, kid. Henley, we're coming.
Oh no, Henley! Henley!
Okay, come in. Come in, honey. Who is? Daddy, where are you?
I'm gonna go down the slide like a big doggy I am.
Daddy, where are you?
Go get him.
Come get me! Come get me!
Go ahead, you can go get him. You want to sit down?
Come sit. Scoop.
Go get Henley. Get him. He's gonna jump on your lap.
Daddy?
It's okay. You're just sitting. You're just sitting.
Daddy?
Look, Daddy's gonna be right here. I'll sit right there with you.
Go!
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
The fear of losing my child every day scares the crap out of me, as it should anyone. I don't think we expected anything about Leah.
No.
We thought we were coming home with a healthy child.
Yep.
And our world was just turned upside down. And they're telling us our kid's not going to live after we tried 2 years to have her.
Yep.
I mean, her nursery was done. Everything was done before.
Yeah, we did the whole nesting thing months and months before.
Yeah,
Like we were stocked.
We were stocked up with wipes, diapers, like anything and everything. Like we were so excited for baby, and now they're telling us the baby won't live, and that it's about quality, not quantity. Here's my 3-year-old now walking, talking, singing, dancing, playing. Leah was born 4 pounds 1 ounce. She was tiny. She was 6 weeks early, very tiny.
Yep.
And they placed too big of a catheter in her. Usually when you're in kidney failure, you're an adult. Unfortunately, it's still a kid. And then when Albany was like, sink or swim, we decided to swim to Boston.
But it was nice when we got to Boston because they were like, we're used to this kidney stuff. We're like,
we just had a little baby 2 weeks ago. And guess what her name was? Her name was Leah, too.
Yeah.
Who's the boss?
I am.
What? I bet you can't kick that ball.
No.
I bet you and Elmo.
No. Oh.
Don't kick it.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah.
Coming back at you, kid.
So I had a normal pregnancy up until I was like 31 weeks. And I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes. So I had my sonogram, and they're like, okay, you have 2 centimeters of fluid. You lost fluid. We need to get her out now. That was the hard part. Like, on the way to that appointment, I knew something wrong was going to happen. I'm like, I know I'm going to have Leah today. You have a baby, you have your OB, you have a plan. This was not in our plan. This is not in our plan. So, they cut me open, and the first thing we hear is Leah cry. After they said that she wouldn't cry, I'm like, oh my god, she's crying. Oh my god, this is great. This is good. And then all of a sudden they go, we don't know if it's a boy or girl. What? First of all, I'm cut open. I just had a baby. It's supposed to be a beautiful moment.
Later they tell us she doesn't have a left ear and that she doesn't have a vagina hole, and it was just a lot right at first. It had to have been maybe 2 hours before they actually let me go see her. And when I finally got to see her, she was in like a little incubator clear box. And I was actually scared to touch her because there were so many tubes and wires. I just started crying, and yeah, it was pretty intense.
No, don't do it. No, you're gonna melt. Don't kiss her.
Leah, give me a kiss.
Don't you dare.
Don't give Grandpa a kiss.
No.
No.
You dare.
Leah,
Give Grandpa first.
come here.
Don't.
Come here.
Don't
No.
you dare.
No.
Don't you dare kiss Grandpa first. You gave Grandma kisses?
Yeah.
Don't you dare give Grandpa kisses.
Oh,
Don't you dare.
No.
it was hard because you don't know what to do because I'm used to fixing certain things, and when something like this is happening to your granddaughter, there's nothing you could do. So it was more like a shock.
It's like up to this day still. It's like you want to fix everything, you can't.
But you can't.
Hey, be cat.
Meow.
Don't scare Daddy.
Oh, you're just an innocent little cat.
At first, when Leah was born, we focused on her heart, like the first day. And then when they took her down for her MRI and CAT scan, they're like, there's something wrong with her kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
And that was our main focus. I don't know, maybe because I watch Grey's Anatomy a lot. I like those doctor shows. I'm like, dialysis? Like, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I don't know why.
And I didn't even think of that. So I didn't even know what that was.
So like, well, we're not there yet, but maybe. And then on the 5th day, they placed a PD catheter, which is a peritoneal catheter. And it was too big. It was too big. It kept leaking.
Yep.
It kept, 2 days later, they put her in another
Back in.
surgery to like glue it up
And then put stitches on it.
and put stitches
Around
on it,
it.
and it still leaked. It was like so discouraging. It was like, why is this happening? Like, why? And these are the doctors that told us, oh, we don't have to go to Boston Children's because I did my residency there almost to the 3rd week in Albany Med. They're like, we can't do anything else. We had a family meeting. That family meeting was so heartbreaking because they're like, it's either do hemodialysis and go to Boston or let your daughter pass away.
We didn't get braced that something bad was coming up. They're just like, we're just having a family meeting. So we're just thinking it's like the next plan. Like, you know, we're still like, oh, good terms, things are going to go smooth. But then just be thrown in a room, just giving us that option. It's like, whoa, you know.
Yeah. And crying, I've never seen him crying in my whole life. And he threw the darn tissue box.
I don't
And to
get
see
angry.
him like that, because he is my backbone, he's the strong person between the two of us. I feel like I was like, what is going on? Like, why are we in this position? Why are we in this situation? So Craig and I decided we'll go to Boston and do hemo. On the way to Boston, at the Lodell Plaza, we got something to eat, and there's an ambulance in the same plaza. I'm like, that's Leah. So I knock on the door of the ambulance store, and they open the doors up, and there's Leah.
They got to see her.
They
for
let us
that.
see her.
That was nice.
And they were playing Christmas music because it's December 1st.
Yeah.
And they're like getting into the holiday cheer. I'm like,
Really nice people.
this is going to be good. Like, this is perfect. Like, slowly on the way there, and they didn't even know, and she's good. She's getting taken care
I
of.
mean, you think about what are the odds of any other stop, and we stop at the same one.
And we got to Boston, and all of a sudden, when we walked through those stores in Boston, I felt relief. It was so weird. Like, all the pressure off my shoulders, and all the doctors came. It felt like so reassuring. Like, okay, we're in the right spot. Hands up, Leah. Woo!
Dad, what are you doing?
Oh, you want him to go faster?
So when they first told us that Leah needed a kidney, at first I was, the first thing that jumps in your mind is, what do you have to do to become a donor? So I did all the testing, and then, of course, you can only receive B or O blood type, and I figured the chances of me being either one of those blood types was not likely. But it turned out that I was O, and then, when I was younger, I didn't eat healthy and drink a lot of soda, and I didn't drink a lot of water. So when I did my physical, I was like, it's not going to go good. Got to find something, or, my cholesterol or something's going to be high. And, yeah, everything went smooth, and then 2 months after that, I was cleared to be Leah's donor. I think that was in January? I believe it was like April, May. they called us and said that me and Leah were actually no longer compatible. She had an antibody against me, but it was probably because we did like a fast track for her vaccines to keep her updated, so she was ahead of everyone, so that when we did transplant, she wasn't behind. Don't shake that butt.
They had these like educational TV stuff
Like videos
from the
and
hospital.
stuff, yeah.
And there was like one about changing ports. And it's kind of like peritoneal.
Yeah, it was. It
Dialysis.
was how to clean it.
Like how
sterilize.
to clean, sterilize. So we watched those videos. So when we learned dialysis, we're like, oh, it's like this video that we just watched.
Yeah.
Oh. So we were already trying to educate ourselves. Really cool. We practiced like giving needles to Leah on an orange.
On an orange, yeah. And you pinch it, put it in, let it go. It was really cool.
I think it took us like 2 weeks, but we were in the hospital for almost 3 months watching the nurses hook her up and disconnect and clean it. And
then we had our class, of course. For the hand sanitize. There's a button on the back of the machine that turns it on. They already did. So these bags are her solution bags. We have a 2.5 on the heater. And the heater is just something that keeps the solution warm, so it's not like cold fluid going inside of her belly. And then we have a 1.5 over here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit go on the machine. And it's going to say load the set. And then this is the drain bag line, so that's what this is. This collects all her fluid at the end of the night. And then we're going to hand sanitize again, because this is the most important part here. This is why we gotta keep our masks on. So the next thing we'll say connect bags, open the clamps. So what we do is we first take the heater line. We call it the heater line because it's red, so we know it goes right to this bag, which is on the heater. And then this one will be connected to here. So you take from here. Make sure you don't touch anything. You gotta do it kind of fast. Pop it. And connect. After you connect, there's this plastic piece in there. You gotta break it. Make sure you break it so the fluid can travel through it. And then you gotta open the clamp. You wanna go to bed? Are you tired? Here you go. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Mommy's gonna come in too, okay? And our friend Eve's gonna come in. Okay, so all I did was take her catheter out of her catheter belt we got from online. It just hangs here for now until we hook it up.
okay, can you hold on your mask?
You hold the mask, and Daddy's just gonna touch your catheter. Look.
Hold your mask.
Hey, look this way. And put your mask on.
We always fight with the mask.
So then again, we always take from here first. We'll pop that off.
Put the mask on your face.
And I'm just gonna unscrew this. And then we open this. Open. That's open and that's it. And then we just hit go.
And she's hooked up.
We'll hit go once and then go twice.
And that's it. Yeah, I mean, I think for me personally, it took me about 9 months to get help. Like, I needed help and I didn't know I needed help. Like, I had a little bit of postpartum. I had a little bit of PTSD. You know, I came from a working family. And I always thought in my head, my family is me and work. They go to daycare and they go to school.
It would be like a normal situation.
I think that's how I pictured our life. Instead, here I am pumping because I can't breastfeed my child because they don't let me. I am confined to a small house with a newborn child who has all these medical issues, and I lost myself. that it couldn't figure out. And when your body's transforming after birth, your emotions and your hormones go everywhere. And with the added stress of Leah being so medically complicated, it was hard for me. And when I would go into any doctor's office, the same questions would be asked. What's wrong? What's her prognosis? What's her, condition? And it's hard. It's hard to talk about everything that's a default in her, because to me it's not default, but in doctors, it is. Like, oh, she has a heart condition. What kind of heart condition? I would just cry.
Yeah.
Like, she has ASD. Like, I just cry. And then what medicines was she on? And I would have a list of medicines that I would carry with me, because I couldn't say them because I would just cry. Because it was just so new, so overwhelming.
Definitely.
And here I am, Craig gets to go to work and has back to his normal life.
Yeah.
But here I am taking care of my daughter at home.
See what's down there.
Oh, yeah? You want Daddy to come home? And Leah's OT teacher, Maha, she's like, Crystal, you need to go to therapy. She finally saw me now. Craig didn't have enough strength to tell me. My parents didn't have enough strength to tell me. No one told me that I needed help. And Leah's OT, you need to see someone. And that's when I started to get better, when I could start talking about Leah and being more confident in myself and as a mom.
Yeah.
It's so hard to have a child sick. It's so hard. Good morning. Today's the 20th of January. And Mommy and Daddy got signed off for doing the cycler, aka Leah's dialysis machine, all by themselves. Way to go, Mommy and Daddy. Now we just need to learn how to insert a NG tube in, which is the thing in her nose. Leah loves her tubing. Right, Leah? So she's had her NG tube, which is her nasal tube that goes up her nose, down her throat, into her stomach to feed her since day 1 of life. I remember when she was 1, she thought she was funny. She would look at you and then pull it out.
Pull it out. Yeah.
She would put a smirk on like this, and she I'm like, you brat.
When we first got home, no exaggeration, we put that in 10 times a day, 12 times a day.
It was
literally
bad.
Yeah.
And then you would get anxiety putting it in. Because the thing with the tube is that if you put it in the wrong spot,
it could go into her lungs and just fill her lungs with the fluid.
And then you could drown. So you have that big aspect of, oh my God.
Maybe it's in the wrong spot.
Maybe it's in the wrong spot. And you're not in the hospital, you can't take an x-ray.
Yeah, and if we weren't trained at home, we would have to go to Albany every single time it came out.
And that's 4 times, 5 times a day. It doesn't prevent her from doing anything. At first it did.
Yeah.
When she started scooting around the floor, Leah doesn't crawl. She scoots on her butt. And it was hard because she had an IV pole. And we're like, how can we make this easier for her? And there is a site for parents with G-tubes and NG-tubes children. And they're like, there's a backpack place. And you get a backpack, and they cut holes on the side for you to place the feeding tube in, and you just put the backpack on them. So
what she has.
This is Leah's backpack.
Yep.
Her little ladybug, and it has the holes right here on the side. Craig, do you think she has any special talent?
I give in too easily. She's got a charm making me do whatever she needs.
That's her special talent?
That's totally her special talent.
No. I think her special talent is just being strong. She does dialysis every day without a complaint. And I am on an adult PD site, and they complain every day about something. So my daughter does not complain, and I think that's her special talent.
Just in this leg right here. Okay, just one. It'll be all done. Okay, just one. Hey, look, that's your thing. Look, it's just your wipe. It's just your wipe, baby. Look, Daddy just wipe your leg. Look, That's it. I'm wiping the leg. That's it. Okay, here comes the ouchie. Be all done. Okay. This is it. All finished. Look, 1, 2, 3. No more. No more. 1, so we just crank it to 1. There. And you just open like that and you just screw it on. Yeah. And then when you inject her, you just push this button down for like 3 seconds and it just shoots it right in. Okay, yeah, you just gotta do one more ouchie, okay? Last one. Last one right here. I promise. Look. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do 1, 2. I know. 1, 2, 3, okay? And we'll be all done. I know, baby. Can Daddy just do 1, 2, 3? Go. All done. You're done. You're all done. That's it. All finished.
I didn't want her to have a kidney transplant and have open heart surgery because then she'll be on the bypass machine, and the bypass machine affects your organs, and we didn't want to affect her new kidney, so we did it at 1 year old because Craig was getting tested at that time to be Leah's kidney donor.
Yes.
That we thought kidney transplant was going to be that year.
Close. Yeah.
So she had it when she was 1, and it was hard.
Yeah,
It
the
was
hardest
hard.
part was going back to the room and seeing all those wires and tubes to her. Like, never seen anything like that before.
But Leah was a rock star. She was out in 5 days.
Yeah, they said 2 to 3 weeks at least, and 5 days we were back home.
5 days.
Yep.
It was hard though. 6 hours. And then the thought of you having your child go through surgery and they cut open her chest. And then they're fixing the holes in her heart. And then they're putting a balloon through her, one artery to make it wider.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary.
It's like your heart's not supposed to stop for any reason, and then they stop.
We were scared, but she proved so much that she's a fighter.
You want the balloon? Don't let go. Don't let go, Leah Storm. Don't. You're a stinker.
Me.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, dear Daddy.
Say it again, Leah. Happy birthday to me. To me. Yay! It was the night of her birthday. She
Yeah.
was acting fine during the day. And then that night, she was a little off. She was like, cranky. We woke up that morning and...
Normally when I walk in the room, she's like, Daddy. But her head was kind of like to one side, and she didn't even look at me when I called her. So then we right away knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
Like she was just...
So we drove to the nearest hospital, which was Kingston Hospital. Craig was in the backseat with her. I'm on the thruway going like 81, like really fast.
Yeah.
We get there. We tell them something's wrong with our daughter. She's on dialysis. You need to take her right now. They take her right now, and they put an IV in her. They're like, we're going to send her to Albany Med right away.
Yep.
All of a sudden, she has a seizure.
Right on my lap as I'm
Right
holding
on
her.
Craig's lap.
Yeah.
And the doctor's right next to me, and they're all looking at her having a seizure. I'm like, help her. He's like, we gotta write it out. And they transferred her to Albany Med. And she had another one at Albany Med.
Yes.
And she just clenched up, like her fist.
Yeah, she
clenched
froze
up,
and she
her
like shook a
body
little
just
bit.
shook, and
she
we're
couldn't
like,
move.
oh my god, my baby's having a seizure. She's never had seizures in her life, and this is just another thing to add on to the list.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like when she was having her seizure, her stats dropped, and they couldn't get it back up.
That's
So they intubated her. They put a tube down her throat. They put her on the ventilator to make her breathe, and that was hard to see her with tubes again. And
Yeah.
You know, she was trying to wake up, she was trying to move, and they sedated her heavily because she had a tube in her throat and they don't want her moving.
Yeah.
I mean, they were trying to figure out why she's had those seizures, what caused it. They did a brain MRI and they thought she was brain dead. They're like, oh no, she's not because she's moving. Because me and Craig were stimulating her because seeing your daughter on the ventilator, heartbroken. So heartbreaking. Like, she's just sitting there doing nothing. And here she was the other day playing with you. Sitting playing with you. And here she is not moving. Because she's not allowed to. And they have her heavily sedated. She's still on sedation again. Oh, what are you doing? You smiling or are you in pain? So, being a mom, you want to see that little spite and spark. So I'm tickling her arms and her hands, playing with her stomach. All of a sudden I feel her stomach so hard. It was like concrete. It was so hard. I call the doctor in. The doctor does an x-ray. He's like, there's so much air in there. It looks like her intestines is poking through her hernia. And it's cutting circulation off the intestines. Exact same day Leah first had her PD catheter placed. Same surgeon walks in. And he wants to cut my daughter open. 2 years later. Yeah. Talk about PTSD. I'll tell you that. I freak out. And the nurses are sitting me down, trying to calm me down.
But it was definitely the best decision in that situation.
Yes. So we're like, you need to call Dr. Vakiles right now from Boston Children's and tell him that we're coming over. And the chief resident of Albany Med Pediatrics is like, you have no time. Like, if we don't do the surgery right now, what's going to happen to Leah is that she's going to have a colostomy bag because
4 hours with the circulation cut off.
It's not good. Craig and I talked. We were like, okay, you guys can do it as long as the chief resident does it and he does not touch her and he's not in the room. Okay. So he wasn't in the room, but he was the telephone guy.
He was giving us updates.
Okay.
Of what they were doing.
All I can say is he's a bad telephone person. So he is telling us updates on Leah, and he's telling me and Craig they took out Leah's PD catheter. And that was infected. And that they can't do anything. And he's telling us everything horrible. I'm like, I'm freaking out. And then Leah's kidney doctor comes out. Dr. Listman, I was in there, everything went good. I'm like, what do you mean everything went good? He told me he took out her catheter. He goes, Crystal, her catheter is fine. Thankfully, Leah was good. Mm-hmm. They left her cut open. And the next day, we got transferred to Boston Children's. And Dr. Vakili, Leah's amazing surgeon, went back in, made sure they did everything right, which
Overlooked
they did.
Everything, yeah.
Which Albany did. Thank you, Albany. And she was okay. Leah came back fighting like a champ, though. So big. So big. Leah, are you mommy and daddy's miracle? Yeah, so big. You're mommy and daddy's miracle. So it was really hard, though, to see Leah with the tube in her throat, and here comes the monster. Hello, monster. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So, my name is Carmela Nuzzi. CARMELLIA.
Craig's sister had her addiction. We always knew what could possibly be, and we always talked about it. So when the time came when Michelle passed away, Carmela's mom, we all sat at the table with all the sisters and brothers, and we all decided that Craig and I would be the best fit. Even though we had Leah with all her complications of medical history, Carmela also has her medical history. She was 2 weeks late from being born, and her lungs collapsed. She was on ECMO. She developed CP because of that. She was in NICU for 54 days.
Yeah.
In Westchester Medical, and we just knew we could handle both of them. She's amazing. She's a good girl. She likes to please everybody. She likes to have fun. She's just a normal little girl, but she has her therapies. She's in after services. She gets therapy from school.
Yeah.
So she has her counselor. She has tons of family that love her. And she was always part of our family, but hearing her call us mom and dad.
We actually were really
Shocked?
We were shocked. But we were happy. I was like, no more Uncle Craig and Crystal. We call me mom and dad. Because we would always call us mom and dad.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
we always
why.
left that open to her. You can call us mom and dad too. You know, bad about doing it. So.
Yeah. It was weird when she called me mom. But then I did love it too. It was like the heart flutter. I'm like, okay, you're part of the family.
What do you like doing at Grandma and Grandpa's house?
Eating dinner.
You like to eat dinner?
Yeah, because it's special.
Why is it special?
Because we eat a lot together as a family.
That's right.
We were used to Carmela from the
since she was
beginning.
born.
Because Crystal will bring her over even before Leah came to the picture. Yeah, she's one of them. She's the kids,
Yeah, she's
the
always
grandkids.
part of the family.
Okay, you can say I'm allowed. Come on. She gets what she wants. She's
not
happy.
dumb. She knows.
Yeah, she's like, all right, I got him. Okay, you ready? Let's do it. Oh, you open your eyes. You gotta watch.
No, they're very strong parents, and I'm very proud of them. And I tell you the truth, if it wasn't for Craig is Crystal's rock.
Yeah.
Craig, because right away Crystal will start thinking, and he'll direct her to what she's got to be at. If it happened to me, if it was one of my kids, would I be able to handle? I can't tell you that. But what I see with my daughter and my son-in-law going through and everything, and we go through it with them too and everything, but it's not the same. We're not there day in and day out with them. They're the ones who...
It's a lot they got to go through. They got to make sure all her medicines.
And I'm very proud of them.
Sometimes.
Very proud of them. And then when Carmela came, it was more.
Yeah.
Another child to take care. In that case, in that sense. So I give them a lot of credit. We're very proud.
Craig planned to donate his kidney, but doctors said Leah's body would reject it. Then he planned to do a kidney swap with another family in need of a kidney. Then came the good news.
So after 3 years of waiting, we are finally have a live donor. And we're super, super excited. Carmela, stand up. What does your shirt say?
It says, my sister gets a kidney.
The donor that we had, his backstory was that his daughter needed a kidney transplant also, and he wasn't able to donate to her. His daughter got a kidney transplant from the exchange program, which is a swap kidney. So someone in the family goes into the program and they swap their kidneys. And so they did that for her with another family member. He's the one to go through with giving his kidney to pay it forward. So Leah was a match to him. Then later on we found out we scheduled transplant for February 7th.
Yep.
And a week before February 7th.
Exactly a week again. Yeah.
Boston called us and they're like, well, he had a strain in the past like Craig did against Leah, and they're like, his strand is stronger than Craig's strand, so we might as well go with Craig's kidney. But with Craig's kidney against this other donor's kidney, Craig's kidney will be more
Controllable
with the steroids at a smaller dose compared to the other donor. So we figured, okay, then we'll just go with Craig then.
Yeah.
So that's why February 7th, that's why that got canceled. And then we just had a transplant scheduled for 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And that got canceled because Leah got the flu.
So today is July 22nd, a Monday, and tonight is Leah's last night of dialysis because tomorrow she's gonna get a kidney transplant. Leah, what are you getting tomorrow? A kidney from who? From Daddy, that's right. So Leah's getting her kidney tomorrow, Tuesday, and this is her last night on dialysis. It's all 1 out of 10. It's emotional. It's crazy. Craig is cool as a cucumber, while Mommy's a hot mess. The last time we're disconnected, Miss Leah. Last time. Yay! I'm not a person that likes to I have really high anxiety, so I cry a lot. I get overwhelmed really fast. I mean, when you're thrown into a life of having a medical complex child, your life is upside down. So I took something called CBD oil, and it helped me.
Yeah.
It helped me relax, and I sent Leah off without crying, which I never do. Even with Craig with me, I never do. I'm always like, because when they say final kisses goodbye, it just breaks your heart. Because they say that. It's like, what do you mean final kisses? What are you talking about? But with the help of CBD oil, it definitely was okay. It was okay.
Then take it every day.
What? Kids say the darndest things, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I should take it every day.
You can do whatever you want.
But I feel like it was okay, going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I was going back and forth when they were both in surgery. And that helped me too, because Craig was in a different hospital, he was in another one, so by the time I got back, there was a new update for one or the other.
Yeah.
So it was good. I was keeping busy going back and forth.
Well, actually, when we were going to women's, I was like, wow, we're actually doing this. And her mom's like, yeah, we are doing this. I'm like, finally, So it definitely was one of the best feelings I've ever had to be able to do that.
Okay. Just go very easy. Oh, Mocha. I see you. Hi. What are you doing? Yeah?
So Leah started peeing within 2 hours of her transplant, which is amazing. It was so surreal. Leah has never peed in her life. So I was like, there has to be a catch. There wasn't. She's peeing.
I would wake up extra early so I can get her kind of starting to wake up by 6. Get her medicines and stuff, but I don't have to do that now. Just medicine, 9 o'clock and then 9 at night. The medicine's even better, so.
It's been nice. that we don't have to worry about machines. When we first came home, the microwave beeped, and Craig and I looked at each other like, she doesn't have a machine. What's beeping?
No, at first we really thought it was the machine. I almost ran out of the bathroom. I was like, her machine's beeping. And then Chris was like, she doesn't have a machine.
Like, what happened? So
because the beeping sounds almost exact. So.
Yeah, very similar. So that was nice. She's had so much energy now. Like, she's like, no naps. But usually, like, in the past, she would sit on the couch and watch her tablet for like an hour or two, just like trying to recuperate. And now she's like a little Energizer bunny. She's talking more, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like she's happier more.
And we used to like go to the store. She'd go in her stroller, but she doesn't even ask for it now.
Yeah.
Like she walks the stores and everything.
Yeah,
like nonstop.
To like walk the store. She's showing more interest in Eden, which is good. She's just rocking it, and we're so proud of her, and we love her. This transplant, what Craig did for Leah, is absolutely amazing. And if you could donate, donate. Leah, how do you feel now?
See that? Yeah, I feel much better.
You feel much better? Can you come over here and say that to the camera? Look, come here.
Leah, say it.
How do you feel now that you got a new kidney? How do you feel?
Happy and much better.
You feel much better?
Leah,
Do you have more energy? No?
No.
Do you walk a lot now? Yeah. Do you play a lot now? Yeah, right?
Doggy walking. Doggy walking. I pull him. I what's wrong him? He fell. I picked you up. One right
For the
here.
tools, one here. So this is where they pulled it out from. And then they used the tools here and here. And here.
So with every transplant, it's not a cure. It's a form of treatment. And with Leah, the scary part is that rejection can happen at any time, which means she could be back on dialysis. This is the hardest thing that we have ever done in our life. And not only one child, but with two. Oh, God. My best friend of like 20 years, she watched Carmela for a week for us.
Yeah.
While my parents were in Boston with us. When Carmela got back to my parents' house, my aunt brought Carmela to the Boys and Girls Club. Like, we have a good support system.
We do.
We have some great friends.
And everything happens kind of like on a moment, so they all, fit their schedule for us, and
yeah,
that's amazing.
In a moment's
We're
notice.
thankful.
Yeah.
My job was amazing. I gave them a heads up when I found out the transplant date, but they've always been so lenient with the days I've given them. Like they always are like, "Oh, you have to take that time off. Go for it." Pretty much. And I couldn't ask for like a better boss and coworkers and manager. So like
family. Yeah,
just to like be so lenient and to fill in for everything I missed out on. I'm not there. They find the help and they make their schedule tighter for me, and I'm very thankful for that.
The community has been absolutely amazing. They've done fundraisers, like we've done like 2 spaghetti dinners, I believe. Done 2 spaghetti dinners. They done at the Christmas show, Sawyer Chevrolet did a big fundraiser, and they raised $16,000, which helped us with the hotel stay. It's just a lot of money being away, and then you gotta pay rent here, and then you gotta pay electric. The fridge is still on, and you don't want the food to go bad.
You still have your basic, car payment and insurance.
Yeah.
Normal bills, cell phone.
Normal bills, and then you're far away, plus those bills on top of it. So that money was definitely used.
Big help, though.
It was definitely a big help.
What
are you doing?
I need to get on you.
You need to get on me? Oh.
So Leah's next surgery will probably be a ring for her bladder, because right now Leah just pees in an open diaper. So that means she doesn't have a muscle to contract and hold her urine in the bladder. And then she will also have her vagina reconstructed. I think that would be like 6 to 12 months.
Ready, Leah? Now what song do you want to sing? Twinkle, twinkle. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above a little sky, like a diamond in the sky, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, in the
Yay!
Baba Flashy, have it every day. Yes, sir, yes, sir, 3 bags full.
Yeah, a lot of sandwiches.
You're a what?
Yes.
You're a ghost?
How did I get sir?
Wait!
Oh, you okay?
What are you doing, Leah? You playing with Amy's stuff? Are you playing?
I think
She's Little kisses.